Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, Cheryl and male boyfriend, Toy. If this was vice versa. Again, today's topic is Cheryl and male boyfriend, Toy, question mark. If this was vice versa. See, for me, overall, it would be just like this. Oh, wrong one. It'll be just like this because that's how illogical and really irrelevant the conversation should be overall. It's like who should really even care, right, about what age bracket as long as both personnel are legal age individuals. But in various parts of society, that's not the way that it goes. Because it's always got to be some kind of chaos and confusion. And definitely it has to be some type of extreme gossiping type of scenario. This is no different on that, right? This is no different on that as well. This is no different. But it is nonsensical in a way that there is some hypocrisy going on continuously, especially when it's dealing with especially males, not talking about sellout males, but just decent, good, constructive males, right? And say, for instance, these are older, decent, constructive males, and they say date with someone else, and they may be younger, legal age, 10-year difference, 20-year difference. Let's give an example, etc. You have some people that get mad and say, "Oh my goodness, oh my good, look at that man. He just trying to take advantage of that younger, legal age woman, say if she's in her 20s or 30s or 40s, and he's older by 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years, then you got some numbers of women, the ones who know they got a problem with that. But you see the hypocrisy of this, just like in this scenario on this topic right here. Cheryl and male boy toy, question mark, if this was vice versa. Because if you can put some information out, reality, and this is what quite a number of people try to do.
Sorry, Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
What? Of course he was.
No, he wasn't. You lose.
Of course he was. He was the star.
Nope, you're wrong. Look it up.
I don't have to look it up. It's common knowledge. He was on the cover of People magazine when the movie. Everyone knows Kevin Bacon was a star of Footloose. It was a huge movie. He was the lead. No.
Oh, I know it's funny. Yes, I know it's funny, right? To a certain point, right? Because something about the hypocrisy in various parts of this society is very apocryphal and various types of thought pattern. It's almost like a type of non-health psychological sickness game plan mentality that there are certain types of women that have this thing against grown men that are doing a thing, and if they so choose to date or marry someone that's younger in a legal age relationship, they still have a problem. But that's a different topic relating to the passport, what they call the passport brothers on that. That's a different situation, as if this is something new. But again, when numbers of women travel more than males overall, and as if they're angelic overall in their travels, as if they don't get with other different types of males themselves on their little girls' trips or whatever it is. Okay, on that hypocrisy. But related to this part about Cheryl and her male boyfriend, Toy, question mark, if this was vice versa. It says Cheryl, the iconic pop star, in her being in her mid to late 70s, and was supposed to be her boyfriend or however it goes, or it's supposed to be some kind of music producer slash maybe former rapper. He's around mid 30s. So Sheriff being mid 30s, I mean mid 70s, he's around mid 30s. So that's about a 40-year difference. And you hear some people chatter a little bit in general. But overall, there's still an hypocrisy on that because there's no outrage. There is no outrage of look at Cheryl. She's too old to be sitting there with that young guy. She's just using him. Oh, that grown black male in his mid 30s, they're not saying, oh, that grown black male, in it, well, category wise, black male in his mid 30s, oh, he just being used because, oh, sure, is almost a 40-some year difference. She's just using him because you get laughed at. And the thing about feminism, which is the secondary most brilliant mental manipulation tactic besides supremacy, right? Because again, see, feminism is very slick. They're very slick in their anti-male hatred, right? Especially when it's benefiting them. And they will use whatever tactics they can to try to sit there and maximize different numbers of some males doing wrong, but they'll minimize anything dealing with some or numbers of women that do wrong things. And it's like situations like this. Oh, they like confusion because they say, hey, someone will put out, hey, look at that. That's a 40-year difference. Why don't some of y'all say something? And then other people would be like, that don't make any sense. If they like each other, love each other, what difference does it make? 40-year difference, right? But it's still hypocrisy because collectively, you're not going to have a lot of people sitting there jumping up and down about this, saying, wait a minute, that's a 40-year freaking difference on that. And again, nothing about, oh, she's just using him. And actually, it's the opposite. Oh, no, before I go there, let me read you something for a second. Let me just read you. Let me read you something. It talks about, they said that Cheryl, this spoke just recently, and this is within January 2022, 23, excuse me. They said something about Cheryl that she flashes some kind of diamond ring on a date with her boyfriend, right? And it talks about how, I guess, that gossiping, oh, how, they were out on this date and she was kind of flashing, Cheryl was flashing on her finger, this diamond looking like an engagement ring. And you had people obviously, making all kind of assumptions, things like this. And when I'm reading about this, it says on December the 25th, the pipe icon shared a photo of the engagement like diamond ring, right? Engagement like diamond ring. And so it's just interesting on that because people will jump up and down, the ones I'm talking about on that. Because on another thing I was reading, it talks about how this newly engaged Cheryl and how she's kind of, showing this diamond ring and stuff like that with her fiance. Oh, but there might be some concerns for friends. You're like, which one is it? One minute, some is saying it's a diamond like engagement ring or something to that effect. And no, what? Let me go back and look at that. So it says on December 25th, the pop icon shared a photo of the engagement like diamond ring. And on this other thing I was reading, it talks about how the newly engaged Cheryl, showed off her new diamond ring to her fiance. Oh, you see the contradiction, right? And it says, oh, despite concerns from, I guess close people about their relationship, right? Because again, they're thinking that that he is using her, right? But you see that little sneaky thing, it'll go from, well, it won't go from, well, Cheryl's 70 something years old and he's 30 something years old, 40-year difference. She should know better. She's like a great grandmother to him. No, she's just using him because he's a younger man. Nope. But the second thing I was sitting there reading you, oh, you have some hurt, some close people, questioning this kind of stuff like that, and he's probably really not paying for anything too much in the first place. You see the contradiction of that. That a in this situation, this black male in his mid-30s, and Cher gets with him in her mid-70s, a 40-year difference. So what? Right? And there are some people out there are certain types of women and maybe some types of men, but mostly males ain't gonna be concerned about this. There are probably a lot more women that's concerned about this than the numbers of males. But I make this point because it's contradictory, right? You say, what do you mean by that? Okay, let me sit there and show you something. Let me sit there and show you something. Give me one moment. I'm gonna show you something here. Where is it at? Where is it? Let me show you this contradiction part here. I'm gonna show you something. This great Buzz Aldrin, right? You see, we said the 93rd birthday, he will be honored by, so you see what I'm talking about. And he's talking about how he's pleased to announce that his longtime love, you see the name right there, they have tied the knot and that they were joined in holy matrimony in a small private ceremony. You see, he said on his 93rd birthday, let me replay 30-year difference. Lore, right? In astronaut lore, in astronaut lore, Buzz Aldrin is an icon. How many people knew of her? She walked down the street somewhere. How many people would know her? Quietness, basically, right? So who is helping who out, right? Even though it's a longtime girlfriend of his, right? However it go. But it's like the hypocrisy, right? Because again, he's in his 90s, icon, pioneer, one of the first couple of males to ever walk on the moon. She's in her 60s. She does real work. She's a doctor or whatever doctor is, because obviously there's more than one doctor. There's MDs, and you can have anyway. There's different type of MD. I mean, there's different types of doctors or doctors and stuff like that. And she's in her 60s. So again, a 30-year difference, a 30-year difference in age bracket. And again, you don't have people jumping up and down saying, "Hey, she's just using him. She's just using him. He's 90 some years old. He's a super elder, right? He's a super elder. He don't know any difference. She's just using him, even though she's in her 60s. She's just using him for his money, for his clout." You don't hear no kind of stuff like that. Where's all the different numbers of women that saying that? Oh, she's just you. Quietness. You see the hypocrisy of that? Let me throw something else out to you. I'm not gonna say the name on this. I was looking at some of the other day as well, right? There's this great actress. She's almost 90 years old. And she's with this husband that's in his late 50s. She's almost 30 some years also. She's almost 90 years old, He's in, he's in his late 50s. So that's almost 30 years old. Again, I'm not going to say the name. She's a big time Hollywood actress. She's been around for a long time, married for several people. But this last particular husband, again, a 30-year difference, a great icon and actressdom. But you don't hear a lot of people jump up and down and saying, oh, she's too old to be what that guy in his 50s. That's a 30-year difference. He's just, or she's just using him and taking advantage of her. She don't know any better. Of course not. So that's the power of the feminism being, demonic as, feminism, the indoctrination, ideology of all kind of nonsense confusion. That's the brilliance. That's the secondary brilliance of them besides supremacy, because all this stuff is so contradictory, right? Cher and her boyfriend, whatever fiance, whatever it is, almost a 40-year difference, and you'll have personnel that be questioning why why, she's with, well, let me phrase that. The hypocrisy again is there is no gigantic hypocrisy, right? Because they know better to sit there and question Cher in a collective way or question her mental faculties, or and they be like, hey, oh, she's too old for this. Second thought on the feminism doctrine. That's probably his fault. He's probably using her because he's only in his mid-30s, right? You said a gun to minimize it, right? He's only in his mid-30s. She's a grown freaking icon woman, right? But you see the hypocrisy. That's not going to be a collective getting mad about that, relating to Cher being almost 80 something during years old, and this guy being mid 50s, right? Ain't gonna be no collective jump up and down about that, right? So that's the hypocrisy of it. But as far as her choosing him being younger, now again, with Buzz, you see the vice versa. Him and being in his 90s, his wife is in her 60s, right? Again, but at the same time, you have more personnel that will question him on that, right? Oh, he just with her because she's younger. He's probably using her. She has a doctoral degree or something because she's a doctor, whatever it is, whatever the situation is, right? But that don't matter overall. It's like, oh, he's just using her, 30-year difference. He's just using her. You see how it goes. And then you throw in another part about the iconic actress. I'm talking about Hollywood. You say, what about this? This iconic actress, again, is in her late 80s. Her husband is in his late 50s. Right? A 30-year difference. You don't hear people jump up and down. You don't hear women jump up and down saying, oh, she's just using him, that guy in his late 50s. She's just using him. Nope. But if it was vice versa, and the guy was late 80s, an icon actor, or whatever it might be, and she will be in the 60s, it'll be, oh, he's just using her. Even though she's a grown woman in her 60s, they will still be talking about, oh, he's just using her. And see, that's the thing about supremacy, because they are the most, they are the most, uh, they are the most awesome mental manipulation. They're the most awesome mental manipulation force that has ever existed. They are. They just are. Right. And feminism, the non-equality, because it's not about non-equality, they are also secondarily brilliant. But to me, I yarn at that because the games are easily saw through. So I just want to do a quick show on this because it's just such an hypocrisy on this, that one minute it's acceptable for a grown woman like Cher to get with a legal age grown black male in his 30s, and there's the overall hypocrisy of saying she's too grown for him, and and they're not saying she's just using him, right? Ain't none of that. But again, if it was vice versa, like the Buzz Aldrin situation being in his 90s, and like the woman he's married to in his 60s, her 60s, it'd be like, oh, he's probably using her. Somebody's probably saying stuff like that. Oh, he's probably using her. She probably don't know anything about that. He's too old. No, what can he do for her? Right? I mean, what? Yeah, it's like, well, what can he do for her? But give her some money. She got her own money. So what? He's still probably using her. Then again, you what you're gonna say. What about that actress I was talking about this great icon actress who was in the late 80s, and her husband is in his late 50s. What about that? Where's all that dynamo type of heat for that? Where's all that? Oh, this actress, icon actress, oh, she's just using that guy. Nope. So it's just an interesting thing that in this system of supremacy, and right next to them is the system of feminism, demonic, satanic ideology, is continuously okay for it's woman's empowerment if she's older and she wants a younger man, but it's perverted if a man is older and he wants a younger legal age woman. Do you see the hypocrisy of that? Because this is what feminists are doing. Yes, that's what they're doing. So for myself, somebody tried to play a little game, but it's not. What are you talking about? Those women? What's not all women? See, they can play that game with somebody else because feminism, especially feminist supremacy, they understand that they must keep quite a number of women within a type of puppeteering mentality against numbers of males in society. Under feminine supremacy, they must keep a non-small percentage of women, but especially numbers of American Black women, showing hatred toward numbers of Black males. That's a different topic related to passport brothers, as if that is their choice how they travel, why they travel, because they don't question why numbers of American Black women travel. But see, again, that's part of the feminist supremacists either. Feminist, that's part of feminism supremacy indoctrination or ideology that is infestation quite a number of American Black women. And somebody, even though I said quite a number, here's some people that said, well, it's not all Black. Yeah, because I'm not going to play that game. I'd be like, "Phew, not playing that. I'm at an age bracket myself where I'm like beyond, I'm like again, 60 degrees below zero. I'm not listening to that nonsense on that. I'm not listening to that hypocrisy, right? And unfortunately, that's why I still have to say that the American Blacks overall only have half a generation to one generation left before their overall complete destruction. Because unfortunately, that there is this continuously American Black relationship strife. And unfortunately, feminist supremacists have again infestated quite a number of American Black women modern day more and more. Again, even though what I just said, I'm talking about the ones who know they are. You have some people to say, why are you talking about American Black women? When I specifically said the ones who know they are, right? Which is not a small number. Well, it's not all. Again, I'm not playing that game. Again, I'm at an age bracket, and not just the age bracket. I'm at that mentality where you look left and right, up, down, sideways, et cetera, et cetera. You say, man, this is ridiculous that these games are still not figured out. by quite a number of American blacks overall. And even though there's no other cultures, especially within the states, that have such a collective hatred toward the other racial categories, ethnic categories, or term lifestyle categories. Nobody else has the historical power as history. No one else has the historical generational like black pain as American blacks. And unfortunately, the feminist supremacy has gotten a hold of quite a number of American black women to get them to not realize that feminism has nothing to do with American black women overall. How many grandmothers were legal age and say the grandpa was older, right? How many were like that? No one was questioning that. They were legal, right? Now the supremacists are saying, hey, feminism supremacists, hey, you right next to us, get that situated. We don't want that, none of that old black relationship stuff getting more situated. So I do thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.